ভিসি স্যারকে একটা ফোন করে দাও।
Hello, Subrata, Dr.
Sir, audible. Yes.
Okay. So is the Google Meet working okay, na?
Okay, sir. It's now okay. স্যার, হ্যাঁ স্যার, স্যার একটু আপনি আসবেন স্যার। ঠিক স্যার।
Subrata, before you start,
Yes, sir.
what is the location of this university?
Sir, it is located just opposite to the Soinik School. You can recall the large playground was there, and it is located there.
Okay, so I mean, which year it was established? A few years back, no?
It is in 2010. Actually, yes, sir. Our honorable Vice Chancellor sir also entered in the platform.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Raha, thank you very much.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dr. Gaur. No mention.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Dr. Gaur, welcome. Thank you, and nice to meet you. Yeah. In fact, I don't know whether I don't remember whether I met earlier or not.
Yeah, we met earlier.
I think in one such meeting in Karigari Bhavan, you were present there?
Yes.
Right.
Welcome to our university, sir.
Sir was asking location and earlier history of our university.
Yes. It is a very new university of 10 years old.
Yes, I was told, yes. In fact, I would love to visit this university sometimes after the pandemic is over.
Yeah.
Pandemic is over.
Yes. Most welcome, sir. I will request Professor Raha to
Yes,
fix
sir.
the date in future, near
Yes.
future.
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
I would also love to meet the students of this university.
Yes.
And I'm very happy particularly because just before we start, we have another 1-2 minutes time, Subrata?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I remember, you might have heard of this joint forest management or the participatory forest management in which West Bengal did an excellent work from the early 80s onwards. In fact, the first participatory rural appraisal or the rapid rural appraisal as the sociologists call it. So the first exercise was done in Purulia. I was at that point of time, I was very new to the service and I was forest economist posted in the Kolkata headquarters. And at that time, the computers, the desktop computers were just introduced. It was PC XT, Windows were not there. And it is a miniature version of the mainframe computers. And the government of West Bengal had issued a government order allowing 25% share of the forest which has been resuscitated or rejuvenated by the help of the local people. If the local people protect some forest, don't allow it to get degraded, then 25% of the forest produced after its maturity will be given to the people free of cost. And it was a revolutionary order in the whole of country, and I must say in the whole of world also. And after that one, actually, I went to Purulia. It was some place in the Kashipur area. We have a Kashipur range office. We sat with the local villagers, the forest protection committee members. It was not official committees, but it was a voluntary committee. We sat with them and prepared the first participatory rural appraisal format, which had been accepted by the government of West Bengal for the entire state as well as government of India also accepted for the entire. So that way, Purulia has got a different place in my heart.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Please please visit again.
Yes, sir. I had been visiting Purulia quite often. I mean, I was principal CCF for the flower shows in your
Subhash Park.
Subhash Park. Yeah, I don't know how's the condition now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tradition is going on.
Okay, right, thanks. And there had been some black bear rehabilitation center also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is also at the Deer Park. We call
Yeah, yeah. It was around say 10 kilometers from Purulia town. Or
Right,
something like that.
a little less, but it is also mainly the bear and some other leopards are wounded and pangolins
Yeah.
for their rehabilitation. They kept it here.
But the first such black bear rehabilitation center in the state.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Dr. Kaur, so I mean, I think if everybody is present, then you can start it.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
With
okay.
the kind permission
Yes, sir.
of the
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you. Please proceed.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So, first of all, I want to convey my sincere regards and best wishes to all the participants, all the delegates from different universities, the students, the research scholars, even from the schools, some of the teachers, and from some government departments like sericulture and agriculture. Some personalities are here. So I all welcome all of you on behalf of the Sidho-Kanho-Birsha University to join this webinar, particularly the observance of World Environment Day, as we regularly each and everywhere observe these days like World Environment Day, International Day for Biological Diversity, World Ozone Day, and International Day for Forests. We generally observe such 5 to 6 important dates in a year. And our students are interested, our scholars are interested, and above all, our mentors are always give us encouragement to conduct such programs. So first of all, I request on behalf of this organizing committee, our Honorable Professor Dr. Deepak Kumar Kaur, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Sidho-Kanho-Birsha University, to deliver his inaugural address. Sir, please.
Thank you, Professor Raha.
Thank you very
Good
much.
afternoon. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody there. First of all, I must express my sincere thanks to the Department of Botany, particularly Professor Raha, in organizing such important day. Not only this day, several other days, as he mentioned, the Biodiversity Day, World Environment Day, Forest Day. This type of days are being observed or celebrated with a special social message, including Professor Raha for taking this responsibility in organizing this webinar today. And on behalf of the entire fraternity of Sidho-Kanho-Birsha University, I express my sincere gratitude to a great personality in the field of forest, Professor Dr. Otanu Raha. He was the principal chief conservator of forest of West Bengal, now the respected expert member of the Ecotourism Advisory Board of West Bengal, and as Professor Emeritus of Techno India University of Kolkata. Thank you, Professor Raha. We will wait for you, not in virtual mode, but in real mode in our campus and also in Purulia. Your association with the university will enrich our faculty, our students, and as well the district of Purulia by experiencing your vast knowledge on forest. Our respected, thank you. Our respected Deans of Faculty of Science, Professor Subrata De, respected Dean of Faculty of Arts, Professor Nadugopal De. I think Professor, I could not see Professor Banerjee, Dean of Faculty of Commerce, will join probably, and our respected Registrar, Dr. Nochiketa Banerjee, who is also a person of natural science, botany. Professor Raha is from botany. Our Registrar is from botany. Myself, Vice Chancellor, is from also the field of botany.
Sir, registered from zoology, sir.
Zoology. Anyway, flora and fauna.
Science.
Flora and fauna, yeah.
And our respected controller, Dr. Subal Chandra De, and all faculty members who have joined in this platform. Dear research scholars, dear students, and all the participants outside from the colleges and the schools of the Purulia. Today is the World Environment Day, as we all know, and every year the responsibility is being given to a country to host this event and provides a platform to discuss sustainable development goals. Additionally, the day is celebrated by millions of people and organizations across the globe to share their experiences, challenges, and the solutions. Over 150 countries participate each year under the aegis of United Nations Environment Program. Last year, World Environment Day was hosted by Colombia in partnership with Germany. Conservation of biodiversity was the theme of 2020 event. This year's event will also mark the launch of the United Nations Decade on Ecosystem Restoration from 2021 to 2030. The World Environment Day 2021, the host country is Pakistan, which is celebrating a number of milestones, the completion of 1 billion trees as a part of its 10 billion tree drive, taking up a large voluntary pledge under the Bond Challenge, a new marine protected area around nature financing, as well as the protection of the country's first green. Also expected is an announcement to initiate a global alliance of ecosystem restoration together with interested partner countries. In the next 10 years, the United Nations, with the support of countries, partners, and people, want to focus on preventing and reversing the loss of degraded natural ecosystems to fight the impacts of climate change. The end of this decade is also the deadline for the Sustainable Development Goals, and the timeline that scientists identified as significant to evade the consequences of climate change. World Environment Day is observed by United Nations to encourage worldwide awareness and work towards improving the environment. And so we assembled here to celebrate and to resolve the ecological restoration. We often talk about ecosystems and restoration, but do we really know what it implies and entails, and what one can do for it locally? We can check it. Ecosystem restoration implies assisting in the recovery of ecosystems that have been degraded or destroyed. It also includes conservation of the ecosystems that are fragile or still intact. And the ecosystem can be restored in many ways. Planting trees is one of the easiest and best ways, rather, of caring for the environment. People also need to eliminate the pressures on the environment. Urban and rural landscapes have different ways to adapt and restore ecosystems. As the theme Decade on Ecosystem Restoration has been put forward by United Nations, our main aphorism is to protect our surrounding environments. Presently, all we know, we are passing through a very critical juncture. Since 2019 end, as the novel coronavirus identified in Wuhan, China, the COVID-19 virus has been spread initially in Chinese provinces and then transmitted to the rest of the world, mainly through air routes. Most of the countries over the globe already made a huge sacrifice in terms of human loss and economic loss. And still now, some countries are within the sacrifice process, including ours. In this crisis situation, our country too facing a lot of damage during last 1 year. Though the vaccination process has been initiated, but losses of life are massive due to this pandemic. On the other hand, the western and the eastern coasts of India have witnessed volatile hydroclimatic hazards like Amphan, like Nisarg, like Taikut, and recently years. Climate change and temperature rising make such instability in the nature and trigger the fury of such landfall in the coastal India. The poorer sections of the society become much more vulnerable due to hydroclimatic hazards. On the one hand, hydroclimatic hazards, on the other hand, the pandemic. From the remotely sensed data, it has been observed that a huge inundation in the coastal West Bengal took place after 26th May recently, and the life of inhabitants become miserable. Since we have to proceed with the development, we have to progress with the development, but the question is, what is development? Are we really needed of this kind of development in terms of ecological damage? The dunes, the mangroves cut out rigorously for coastal beautification, which was strictly prohibited under CRZ norms. Hotels and resorts are mushrooming in coastal areas, damaging the ecology, the flora, the fauna. Nature has taken the challenge and diminishing all the so-called development by us. We must be cautious in well advance. Otherwise, the coming days will be much, much more destructive. Here is the call for ecosystem restoration by United Nations, which is very timely, and all the mankind must ensure the program, not only to celebrate the 5th June, the World Environment Day, but also to take measures and to ensure that the future in future generation, where everyone can still their life and livelihood. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your details. You have explained that what are the threats facing the world today, and particularly you mentioned the vulnerability of the poorer section that is miserable in this, and we are attacked by dual attack. One is climate change and another is such a kind of pandemic. Thank you, sir, for your nice deliberation. Now we have a small program that is the showing of seeds of medicinal plants and a token plantation program by the NSS department of our university. Actually, we large scale plantation occurred during the Bono Mahotsav, and Bono Mahotsav, Vrikshabandhana and Bono Mahotsav Utsav that will held later on, but today, to commemorate today's function, I am requesting Manoranjan Pramanik to turn on his camera and to show the audience the street showing and plantation activity inside the campus, and all the guest dignitaries can see our campus at a glimpse. Manoranjan Pramanik. দেখা যাচ্ছে স্যার? সোজা একটু ভার্টিক্যাল দেখাচ্ছে, সোজা করে ক্যামেরাটা ঘুরিয়ে নাও, ফোনটাকে ঘোরাও, রাইট এই ডিরেকশনে। ওকে, so this is our greenhouse. Yes, so go to the street showing area, and there is due to such a pandemic, students cannot come. Only 2 research scholars are taking the responsibility of this. And this is the seed bed for medicinal plants. What are the seeds, Monoranjan?
Tulsi, sir.
No,
Tulsi.
not probably Tulsi. Is it Tulsi? More closer?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
it is Tulsi.
Okay. So, Tulsi, and you show other things? Yes. There is Ashit Mahato, a research scholar of our department. He is showing the seeds. What kind of seeds he is broadcasting?
Tulsi, sir. Tulsi.
Ashit, say something about your activity. বাংলাতেও বলতে পারো, বালি।
স্যার তুলসীর সাথে স্যার বালি মিশিয়েছি স্যার, ওই মিশ্রণটা সিড বেডে ফেলছি স্যার।
কতটা তুলসীর সাথে কতটা বালি মিশিয়েছো?
স্যার
বীজের সাথে?
150 গ্রাম বীজের সাথে স্যার 1 কেজি তুলসী, 1 কেজি বালি স্যার।
150 গ্রাম তুলসী বীজ কতটা জমিতে, এর চারা থেকে কতটা জমিতে লাগানো যাবে?
এটা স্যার প্রায় 1 বিঘা জমিতে স্যার।
1 বিঘা জমিতে লাগানো যাবে। Okay. And other things, other kinds of seeds you are showing here, it is tulsi. Okay. And what are the other seeds?
স্যার অশ্বগন্ধা।
Show us the seeds. Okay. More close up. Right. Also showing the seeds, right? It's clearly visible now. These are ashwagandha, right? Also broadcast these seeds and then watering. And okay.
দেখা যাচ্ছে স্যার?
No. Yes, now it's visible. Okay. Broadcast it. Show it on the seed bed. Okay. And who is standing there?
স্যার তাপস কুমার মাহাতো স্যার।
Taposh Kumar Bahadur from NSS department. Okay. You go to the plantation area. Yes. Go to the plantation area. Quick. Right. This is sir, our academic building 2.
Okay.
Science block.
Very impressive, yeah.
Move.
Very good, yeah.
Go towards the plantation area. And probably Taposh and Osit is ready there. Let them, please tell them to go quick there. Because weather can betray, so we want to conclude the program within the limited time. So that blue color building is our administrative building.
Okay. The Sidho-Kanho-Birsha.
Sidho-Kanho-Birsha statue, and there the rear building, Monoranjan show the other region. Monoranjan, that is the glass, that is the library.
Okay.
Monoranjan, show the library. Is it possible to zoom it?
Yes sir.
Zoom. This is a library building. And show the academic building 2. Sorry, 1. Academic building 1. This is for arts faculties. That is academic building 1. At the farthest end, that is the girls hostel. And then span, then towards the vice chancellor's quarter or residence. Right, at the remote end. This is playground. And on the opposite side of the playground, that is the vice chancellor's residence. So you go to the plantation, show us. That is the gate, main entrance of the building, main entrance of the campus. Now where the plants are, right. Ashit is planting a sapling. Ashit, which plant is this one?
স্যার মেলাস্টোমা স্যার।
Melastoma. Okay, it is a rare plant, Melastoma. Begum Bahar bole Banglay. Okay, you plant it here and then don't forget to water it.
Yes sir.
Okay, and another Taposh. Show us Taposh Mathur. Yes, Taposh কি গাছ লাগাচ্ছে Ashit, Monoranjan?
No, sir. Lajarostomia indica.
Lagerostromia indica, okay. Both are ornamental plants and short height plant. Naturally, they are planted beside the statue of Sidho-Kanho-Birsha. Okay. Okay. Moranjan, can you show us our guest house?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Show there from our guest house and the other portion of the campus. Okay, okay. That is the Othiti, a guest house of our international standard, and that is other extension other buildings are there. Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, Manoranjan, Ashit, and Taposh.
Thank you, sir.
So, okay. Okay. Thank you all. Now I am requesting our Honorable Registrar Sir to say a few words in this occasion. Sir, Dr. Nochiketa Bandyopadhyay, please. হ্যাঁ, শোনা যাচ্ছে স্যার।
On sake of observance of World Environment Day, I convey my heartiest regards to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Deepak Kumar Sir. I want to offer deep appreciation as well to this man whose extraordinary stewardship of this great university is a constant source of inspiration. I appreciate, welcome, congratulate as well the presence of our honored guest to join us today, Dean of Arts, Dean of Science, Dean of Commerce, Control of Examinations, respected teachers and virtual gallery. And most heartfelt thanks and regards to Dr. Otanu Kumar Raha, IFS, the man of conversation. My sincere thanks to Professor Subroto Raha, Organizing Secretary, Speaker of Keynote Address, Dr. M.A. Khan, Dr. S. Mondal, Joint Convener of this area. I am deeply grateful to wonderful scholars and students. In order to encourage awareness and environmental protection, World Environment Day is celebrated on June 5th annually. According to the United Nations, the celebration of this day provides us with an opportunity to broaden the basis for an enlightened opinion and responsible conduct by individuals, enterprises, and communities in preserving and enhancing the environment. Yes, including coronaviruses, to spread as the effect. By shrinking the area of natural habitat for animals, we have created ideal conditions for pathogens. The pandemic that the world has been dealing with for almost 1.5 years now has shown how disastrous the consequences of ecosystem loss can be. In fact, remains that only with healthy ecosystem can we enhance people's livelihoods, counteract climate change, and stop the collapse of biodiversity. The theme for World Environment Day 2021 is ecosystem restoration, and Pakistan will be the global host for the day. This World Environment Day will kick off the United Nations Decade on Ecosystem Restoration 2021-2030, a global mission to revive billions of hectares from forests to farmlands, from the top of mountains to the depth of the sea. As we know, an ecosystem is a community of plants and animals interacting with each other in a given area, and also with their non-living environments. The non-living environments include weather, earth, sun, soil, climate, and atmosphere. The ecosystem relates to the way that all these different organisms live in close proximity to each other and how they interact with each other. Ecosystem restoration means preventing, halting, and reversing this damage, to go from exploiting nature to healing it. Ecosystem restoration means assisting in the recovery of ecosystems that have been degraded or destroyed, as well as conserving the ecosystems that are still intact. Restoration can happen in many ways. For example, through actively planting or by removing pressures so that nature can recover on its own. All kinds of ecosystems can be restored, including forests, farmlands, cities, wetlands, and oceans. Restoration initiatives can be launched by almost anyone, from governments and development agencies to businesses, business communities and individuals. That is because the causes of degradation are many and varied and can have an impact at different scales. In this background, Sidho-Kanho-Birsha University, Department of Botany is observing World Environment Day. This seminar on the theme Climate Change, Impact Assessment and Mitigation has been organized and wish a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is now my turn to deliver the keynote address. Now, I shall say only a few words because I know that Dr. Raha is busy and already has participated in several programs today and must be tired. So I will not take time. I will just say a few words as a formality or as a keynote address in this session. Sir, hopefully it is visible.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. So, World Environment Day, as our Honorable Vice Chancellor had mentioned earlier, I am not going in details about it, that it is observed every year and generally even designate it as a People's Day. And it is the day where we celebrate with the help of rallies, bicycle parades, concerts, Asian poster competition, tree planting, recycling efforts, cleanup campaigns, and etc. and many more. Now, this World Environment Day is celebrated, as we all know, that on June 5th. This is to draw, particularly stimulate awareness and to draw political attention for positive action. Now, different countries host, as already it is mentioned by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, it is hosted by different country in every year, and these are certain themes of the different years. Like 2014, it was 7 billion dreams, one planet, and so many. So these are the themes of different years of World Environment Day. Like 2014, the theme was raise your voice, not the sea level. In 2017, I am with nature. The campaign was I am with nature. Later on, I can remember that in collaboration with our chemistry department, we observed the last, before the pandemic, last 2018 World Environment Day in association, and our present Dean Faculty of Science, Professor Subroto Kumar, they took an initiative where the host country was India. And this year, as I mentioned, that host country is Pakistan, and if we cannot turn back time, so what degradation has already done, we have to replenish it with restoration activity. So this year theme is reimagine, recreate, and particularly restore. And come to today's point, that serious impacts of environmental degradation are catastrophic weather events, global health crisis, global food security crisis, global financial crisis, rise in geopolitical tension. And so we have to restore our environment, and we have to support the green economy, and capacity building is vital with the help of weaker, downtrodden and marginalized group, as well as the future youth will suffer more if the environment is degraded. So their participation, their encouragement for their participation is another goal through which we can revive our environment. So the face of climate change, I am eagerly waiting, and all of us are eagerly waiting to listen from Dr. Atanu Kumar Raha. That is the theme, the climate change. And we are, our position of the earth, we are so happy and fortunate that the location of Earth is not too far from the sun and not too closest from the sun. If it was close position like a Venus, or if it is far away like Mars, then if it was closest, then it would be burnt away. If it was at the rear end of the orbit, then it would be a frozen planet. So we are fortunate that we live in Earth, which has a suitable position on this universe. So climate change refers to the long fluctuations, not a climate change, not a season change. এবছর একটু বেশি গরম, পরের বছর একটু ঠান্ডা, তারপর একটু বেশি বৃষ্টি হলো, not such local variations. It is a long-term fluctuation in the temperature, precipitation, wind, and other aspects related to the climate and weather. And it is today proved that our climate is warming up, and it is increasingly warming, and we are observing the change all around us, and it is not a new thing, and by the human activity, mainly due to the anthropogenic activity, the situation is going worst. And the exploration of climate change encompasses many fields, including physics, chemistry, biology, geology, meteorology, oceanography, and even sociology. So the scientific organization like National Academy of Science, the Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change, and World Meteorological Association have all identified the climate change as an urgent threat caused by human and must be addressed. And if you look back to the decade-wise, then we can easily see the natural calamities, catastrophes like storm, forest fire, flood, drought, famine, epidemic, and rise in temperature from 1950 towards the end of the last century, how it was increasing gradually. The statistical data proves. The source is IPCC 2007. So all these activities are gradually increasing. And this is the graphical presentation. The increase in the calamities, the natural disasters in every interval of 20 years, 1900 to 1920, 1940, 1960, 1980, 2000, 2019, how this environmental calamity is going rise, and that Dr. Raha will elucidate us today. And a growing number of hurricanes records suggest that the trend has already been seen. In 2005, Kerry Emanuel at Massachusetts Institute of Technology published a research suggesting that cyclones in the West Pacific and Atlantic have become more powerful over the past 50 years. And another study indicates that the strongest tropical cyclones has almost doubled globally since early 1970. Now, also there is a trend of sandy-like superstorms that has changed their direction towards the Western Europe. So, another thing, the climate is changing, and so today we have to take the pledge that every day of our life is an environment day. We take care of our environment on daily basis. This World Environment Day is the perfect opportunity for us to share our concern about the environment and greening our community for governmental and non-governmental organizations. We must join together to bring forth a sustainable global society founded on respect for nature, universal human rights, economic justice, and a culture of peace. We must respect Earth and life in all its diversity, care for the community of life with the understanding, compassion, and love, build democratic societies that are sustainable, participatory, and peaceful, and try our best to secure Earth's bounty and beauty for present and future generation. Last, I must conclude with a quote of Noam Chomsky. It's pretty ironic that so-called least advanced people are the ones taking the lead in trying to protect all of us, while the richest and most powerful among us are the ones who are trying to drive the society to destruction. So, naturally, the civilized the rich people, the rich society, the rich countries, the so-called developed countries should pay more attention to restore and revive our nature. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Now, the most charming event is going to happen, and before that, I am requesting our head of the department, Geology, Professor Vikram Kumar Modo, to chair the session. Sir, please. And, okay, thank you, sir. And here, Professor, I am telling a brief and for an introductory about Professor Raha. Dr. Atula Kumar Raha belonged to the West Bengal cadre of Indian Forest Service. He had graduated from Presidency College with physics honors and had received his post-graduation degree in physics from Delhi University, having first class throughout his academic career. He had joined the Indian Forest Service in 1977. He received his MBA degree from IIS WBM under Calcutta University and PhD degree from Jadavpur University. He was promoted to the highest rank of Principal Chief Conservator of Forests, West Bengal in 2007 and retired from service in October 2012 after serving in various capacities for long 35 years. Dr. Raha was trained in Sweden, Australia and USA. He had rich experience of working in the field of wildlife management. As director of Sundarban Biosphere Reserve, he had ushered in participatory management for the conservation of tiger population in Sundarban. He had set up the remote sensing and GIS cell in State Forest Department and was the pioneer in generating periodic forest vegetation maps of the state using the satellite-based technologies. He had been associated with modernization and developmental initiatives for the Forest Department in the field of joint forest management and computer application. He was a member of IUCN's Asian Rhino Specialist Group and was also the national coordinator of UNDP project on Sundarban transboundary ecosystem. He was a member of the governing body of Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management, Kolkata. After retirement, he was reappointed by the state government as advisor to the tourism development and subsequently as the chairman of West Bengal Group D Recruitment Board. He is presently an expert member of the West Bengal Ecotourism Advisory Board. Dr. Raha had attended and presented paper as UNESCO and IUCN delegate in a number of international conferences. He has a large number of publications to his credit on remote sensing technology for natural resource mapping, global warming, climate change issues, and sustainable development in Sundarban in national and international journals. Dr. Raha memoirs are an absorbing read.
Subrodo.
Right, sir.
Oh, that is with regard to some book that I was sending.
Okay, sir. Okay, nothing. So, anyway, sir, I welcome you and your commitment to the protection and conservation of ecology and wildlife is well known. I have heard a few lectures of you in through Indian Remote Sensing Association, and your very lucid narration, your very easy flowing and refreshing lectures delight us. So, sir, may I request you to deliver a lecture in today's platform?
Thank you, Dr.
Good
Subrodo.
afternoon. Good afternoon to all.
Yeah, good afternoon, Chandra.
Madam, good afternoon.
Yes, Dr. Godri, you're welcome. Happy to see you here. Okay, Dr. Shubrata Rahat, the chairman of the organizing committee and assistant registrar of this university. Professor Deepak Kaur, honorable vice chancellor of Sidho-Kanho-Birsha University. The deans of science, commerce and arts. I don't remember their names separately, but all the respected deans who are present here. The registrar of this university, the controller of examination of this university, and all other respected delegates, the students who are participating today. On a Saturday, instead of relaxing at their homes, they are sitting on their computers and trying to take a lot of wisdom from us who are really not wise people. Anyway, so thank you very much for inviting me, or rather giving me an honor to deliver a lecture, share some talks on this nature conservation on a World Environment Day 2021. In fact, I've got another one more pending in the evening. So I'm not. I'll try to cut it as short as possible. I mean, if I speak in Bengali, will it be okay for all of you? Or
Sir, that will be better, sir.
okay, so because I think that for the students also they will be enjoying and relishing more if we speak in Bengali. And after all, nowadays in every international conferences also people are given the options of listening to their own mother tongues, whether it be Spanish or English or French or German, whatever it be. Hindi is also now accepted as languages in which you can listen to in the international conference, in the United Nations meetings. Unfortunately, Bengali, though it is perhaps the second largest speaking language, but we have not earned that honor till now. But I hope that I'm sure that in future, Bengali will also earn that honor in the whole world. Yes, good afternoon again. আমার আজকের টপিকটা হচ্ছে মানে ইটস এ very difficult topic, ecosystem restoration. I'll just go to my screen share and just start talking about it. I'm not very conversant with this Google Meet because I take online classes on the Zoom only. But Subrata has now taught me today how to operate this screen share.
একটা আপ অ্যারো আছে, ওই হাতের চিহ্নর পরে ওটাতে ক্লিক করুন।
হ্যাঁ, আমি করেছি। আমি তারপরে এবারে আমার স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করছি। So is it visible for all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But first slide is there.
Yeah. I'll go to that one. So, right. So ecosystem restoration is the topic for today.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. There is a small height. You can stop sharing beside that height at the bottom.
Shall I press height?
Height, so that will disturb otherwise. That caption. Yes, sir. Right.
Right. Thank you. In fact, till 2019, we had been having a very wonderful Earth, very enjoyable time in our Mother Earth, which is a unique planet in this whole universe. Amongst the billions of the stars and planets that we have in this universe, which is unbound. There is no end to it one, and they say that it started through a big bang, from a very tiny particle of matter, energy, whatever it be, and it is expanding ever. And as it is expanding at a much higher and higher rate. So basically, it is opposite to the concept of the Newton's laws of motion, that when the matters, whatever be the sizes, when they go away and away from each other, so they start becoming slower and slower. But here what is happening is that as they are going farther and farther, so their speed is increasing. So এতদিন আমরা জানতাম এই বিগ ব্যাং এর মধ্যে দিয়ে আমাদের ইউনিভার্সটা শুরু হয়েছে, এটা কোথায় এর শুরু আর কোথায় শেষ nobody knows about it. But in the 2021 the Nobel Prize winner Roger Penrose and a few others, যাদের রিসার্চে বেস করে আছে এমন একজন লোকের উপরে যে আমাদের who is very close to us, Professor Amol Rai Chaudhary. He was my professor also in Presidency College. এবং যার ম্যাথমেটিক্যাল ক্যালকুলেশনের উপরে আজকে রজার পেনরোজ নোবেল লরিয়েটদের দাঁড়িয়ে আছে, তারা বলছেন যে ইনফ্যাক্ট দিস বিগ ব্যাং ইজ নট দ্য বিগিনিং অফ দিস ইউনিভার্স, বাট ইট ইজ the end of one universe and it is going to be the beginning of another universe. So it is absolutely mind-boggling. আমরা বুঝতেই পারি না যে কি, কোথায় আমরা আছি, কেন আছি। একটা ছোট পৃথিবী যেটা which is tiniest of the tiniest in this whole universe, তার মধ্যে থেকে আমরা